The Caribbean is a paradise, and if you've ever visited, you know just how nice this place can be. You've probably even wondered to yourself, if you've gone, well, why don't I just live here? Well, Sarm Heslop had the same thought, only unlike a lot of people, she acted on it. Originally from England, Sarm had spent years as a flight attendant before meeting American Ryan Bain on Tinder in 2020. And Bain owned a 47-foot luxury catamaran called the Siren, operating private charters in the Caribbean. Within months, Sarm had moved aboard, working as the boat's chef and sailing the islands with the man she loved. Life was good and they were living the dream. On the evening of March 7th, 2021, Sarm and Ryan went ashore to a dive bar called the 420 Center in Cruz Bay on the island of St. John. The island was under a COVID curfew at the time, so restaurants and bars closed at 10 p.m. Security cameras captured the couple at the bar that night, and more footage, only released publicly 4 years later via BBC documentary, shows them afterwards walking down a small dock and boarding their dinghy to head back to the Siren Song, moored just a couple hundred feet offshore. And that is the last confirmed image of Sarm Heslop alive. At 2:30 a.m. on March 8th, Ryan called the local police telling them the boat's anchor alarm had woken him up and that Sarm was gone. Police then told him to contact the Coast Guard, which he did, but he didn't make that call until 11:46 a.m., 9 hours later. By the time a search began, any window for finding a person in open water like that was basically closed. The Coast Guard and police searched, of course, but there was nothing. No sign that Sarm had ever gone into the water at all. And what happened in those 9 hours, well, that's never been explained. Investigators attempted to board and search the Siren Song, but Bain's attorney advised him to refuse. Police then applied for a search warrant. They claimed the court denied the application, so the boat, the primary scene where Sarm was last known to be, was never forensically searched. Not then and not ever. Sarm's phone, wallet, and passport were all still on board, so the idea that she left voluntarily was essentially ruled out. I mean, this was a woman who had sailed around the Atlantic without incident. To disappear like this, just a few feet from shore, it didn't add up. By late 2021, Bain had sailed the Siren Song to Grenada, where a private investigator hired by Sarm's family learned he had the boat's freezer and other equipment replaced before attempting to sell the vessel for around $300K. The family frantically called for a forensic search before any sale went through, but it never happened. The boat was sold and those items were gone. Bain then left the Virgin Islands and returned to Michigan and was never formally interviewed by police and was never even named a suspect. In September of 2025, 4.5 years after Sarm vanished, he broke his silence for the first time via a Facebook post, writing about his grievances with the media coverage. He provided no new information about what happened that night, and Sarm's parents responded by publicly imploring him to speak to police rather than journalists. Sarm's family have called the investigation a catastrophic failure, riddled with errors from the first hours, hampered by what they described as ineptitude and possible corruption. Sarm Heslop has never been found. She was 41 years old, and she left behind a family on the other side of the ocean who have spent nearly 5 years fighting for answers that nobody in authority has been willing to give them.